Hey guys, welcome back. It is Halloween, my favorite day of the year. Super thrilled, but also sad because it's the end of spooky season. So
Halloween starts September 25th here.
That's fair. But welcome back to another episode of Live or Die. I am Frank.
And I'm Elsie.
And we are here ready to get into some cool psychology of horror stuff.
Ooh, spooky.
Yo. So I will let you kick this one off. Go for it.
Okay, so tonight's episode, boys and girls, we are going...
Ghouls and goblins?
Yeah.
Let's go there.
Tonight's episode, Ghouls and Goblins.
There you go.
We're going to talk about what makes you scared.
Ew.
Like what for...
You.
What...
I'm starting early today.
Yeah,
I woke up and chose violence.
You chose all the violence. But on a serious note, or on a spooky note, what scares you, Frank? I know the answer, so don't lie.
What's the answer?
Sharks.
No, so that's my biggest ocean fear.
There's a big non-ocean fear?
Yes, there's a bigger non-ocean fear. The thing that scares me the most is when things don't go according to plan.
Get the hell away from me.
It's real though. I hate it. Like it's the worst thing because it reminds me of how little I'm in control of anything in this universe. Because when it's something outside of what I'm doing, you know what I mean? Like if I have a plan, okay, I'm going to go from A to B, and then this outside force comes in and blocks the path. Now it's like, okay, I really had no control over that, and there's literally nothing that I could have done. And to me, that is horrifying. That there's just some things there's nothing you can do. Yeah.
I used to be the same way. There's a concept called tragic serenity, and it is being at peace with the fact that life is going to life. And all you have to do is roll with the punches.
Life is going life on my terms.
It's not, though.
Then I'm going to go out my terms.
Whoa there, buddy. Calm down. Calm down. Well, are you interested in what scares me?
Not particularly, but let's hear it.
You ask nicely or I won't say it.
Lolo?
Yes, Franklin?
What scares you the most?
Well, what scares me the most, my biggest fear of all time, is death. I'm so horrified of death. Like, I would love to live forever. Somebody upload me into the cloud or something.
Questions about this.
What are your questions?
I mean...
I've had this fear for years, by the way. I had a panic attack at 11 thinking about the fact that one day I would be dead.
Well, when I sit down and think about like just the possibility
of not existing,
everything just stopping, that's horrifying. But I think that it's based around personal trauma.
Yeah,
like the experiences that you have in your life, if they're not, if the experiences with death aren't positive, it's going to create a negative perception for you.
That's interesting because like when I've shared this fear with people in the past and I tell them that and they're just so at peace, they're like, I mean, look, it's gonna happen anyway.
I'm just like, how?
And they're just so chill about it. And I look at their lives and they're usually leading pretty fulfilled lives. So it's like they feel like I've done everything I needed to do and I'm on the right path to doing everything. So if I go now, I'm content. And like when I look at my life, it's like a ball of chaos where nothing is going according to plan. So of course I'm
not
afraid.
Not according to plan? You don't say.
Anyway.
Scary, isn't it?
No. It not going to plan is not the scary part. The scary part is me dying before it goes to plan.
That's fair.
So, yeah, that's a big thing. But also I think my fear comes from, I love that you mentioned trauma. But when I was a little girl, I was at a sleepover and someone told the story about this friend of a friend. I didn't know this at the time, but now I know that.
It's very
means urban legend. Yeah. But at the time, it was friend of a friend. Okay. And that friend went to sleep. And when she woke
up, it was a different friend?
No.
Okay.
Oh, you. When she died in her sleep because she had a dream. Died?
Oh,
not my damn friend. The friend of the friend.
The friend of the friend.
The friend of the friend died in her sleep because she had a dream. And in that dream, don't ask me how they saw the dream. Little kid me didn't need this logic. But in the dream, she was asked to pick a door, and she was told if you go through this door, you'll wake up. If you go through this door, you'll die.
Yeah.
And she went through the wrong door and she died. That always freaked me out because, I always hear like, oh, sleep is the cousin of death. So for a long time, it took me a lot to get to sleep. Like I had to be exhausted to go to sleep because I'm like, oh, I don't want to go down this road and, have to pick a door. Yeah. So that was really, really creepy. It creeped me out to the point where I think at some point I was just like, okay, like I looked up what would happen if I didn't sleep.
Yeah.
And it was kind of worse.
It's worse
than sleeping.
Yeah.
So I was like, we'll just go to sleep.
No.
But yeah, so I think somewhere in my subconscious, I haven't let that go.
Okay.
So I think it's a mix of that. And then also just, again, living in a ball of chaos and wanting to have time to organize it.
That's fair. I have an interesting relationship with sleep because,
Really?
well, I used to be afraid to go to sleep, but not because I thought I was going to die.
Why though?
Because I was afraid of the loss of time. Like it was
That's
so weird to
interesting.
me, like the way that I would close my eyes, and then in my perception, it would be close, open, and now 8 hours have passed, and that horrified me. That in literally the blink of an eye for my body, that much time I lost.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and then I also had like a dream demon paralysis thing. That was horrifying.
Ooh, okay. Drop in the comments if you have ever had an experience with sleep paralysis.
Please.
Because that is terrifying. I used to suffer horribly from sleep paralysis. And for anyone who does not know what sleep paralysis is, it is either when your body wakes up or goes to sleep before your mind does.
Yep.
So you're literally paralyzed and you can see things happening around you, but you can do nothing about it because you're paralyzed.
Right.
And it is the most horrifying thing in the world. And I remember I used to tell Frank that I had this, and he was like, "You're weird." He's like, "You're so weird.
Right.
This isn't real."
And then upon my recollection, I was like, wait, I've done that.
But also, you experienced me in an episode of, because the only thing, you're going to come out of it in minutes. It doesn't feel like minutes. It feels like you're like this for days. But you come out of it within minutes unless someone touches you. And he touched me when he saw me, like, basically, like, eyes fluttering.
It was very weird.
And he was like, Loreal. Like, I saw him calling my name. And I just kept thinking to myself, touch me, please, touch me. And finally, he was like, Lori. And I woke up and immediately I started laughing, like, oh, it was crazy. And he was not amused.
I was not amused at all.
He was not amused.
No, but with mine, I think I was in like 5th grade. And it was the only time that it ever happened.
You know this happens when you're anxious. Why were you living such an anxious life in 5th grade?
We don't need to dive into that. It's fine. But, so yeah, I went to sleep after school and then I woke up and I remember seeing my dad leave my room. And then as he left, so like his body's going this, to the left, and then someone followed right behind him and came into my room and just like slowly kind of walked up to me. And he had like this huge smile with like bleeding gums and like bulging eyes and everything. He just like got like right in front of my face and then left.
He just looked at you?
Yeah, and then I was able to move after that.
He freed you?
He didn't touch me.
He just smiled at you with his bloody gums?
Yeah, it was horrible.
Okay, you know what? That's really interesting because some people with their sleep paralysis, they also experience like, because their body is ready for sleep.
Yeah.
So they start dreaming essentially. And I've had some episodes like that too, where like someone is sitting and watching me as I'm going through this. And ooh. So a rabbit hole I went down with this is that a lot of people thought that the succubus was a sleep paralysis thing.
Anyways, back to what we were talking about.
No, yeah. So what scares you in a film?
Oh, in a movie.
Like we've touched on this before, but like let's really dive in it. Like what was your scariest horror movie experience?
Ooh, I have 2, and they're both with found footage. So there's a trend here. So the first one was obviously the Blair Witch. Watched it when I was like 9, right?
That's not obvious.
It's obvious. First one was Blair Witch. But yeah, I watched the movie by myself in my room, and then I had like this big mirror behind me. And after the movie was over, I turned the TV off, and I'm laying down, and I look at the mirror, and I just see the mirror moving. Right?
Oh, hell no.
Back and forth. It was just the air conditioning moving the air. But
Don't you love when there's an explanation?
But I didn't know that. So I was horrified.
Of course.
And I'm like 10, 11, and then I just start crying.
Oh,
super loud.
Little baby Frank screamed.
And then I asked my mom to sleep with me in the bed.
Oh, did she?
Yes, she did.
Oh.
Because I was horrified. So that was one. And then two was when I saw Paranormal Activity. I went with a group of friends, and it was, before the paranormal hype, and we got like one of the early screenings because so many people voted for it.
Oh,
so
that's cool.
So we got to see it early, and we went to the midnight showing when they were actually midnight showings. And I remember I got home at like 2 a.m. and the entire house was just dark. And so like I turned on one light just in the living room, and then like as I'm walking through the living room, the light turned off. And so I left.
The house?
I left the house. I was like, nope.
Where'd you
Not
go?
today. I just drove around for a little while. And then when I came back, I realized that the light bulb had just blown.
Interesting.
But it's fine.
Interesting. So I have a creepy one with my movie is The Exorcist.
Okay, it's a good one.
Yeah, The Exorcist really freaked me out. I've touched on this before, but religious movies, they always do me in. Yeah, because like I think I'm assuming it has to do with being a believer. And so believing that these things
Can exist.
Yeah, like there's good in the world, but there's also evil in the world. Like it's just natural. You can't I don't know, you can't do anything about it. There's good, there's evil, and
I have a whole bunch of questions on this.
on good and evil.
Well, not on good and evil, but it's like, when you look at religion and everything, I feel like a lot of those stories of demons and this and that are people trying to explain reasons for people doing terrible things. And that's not necessarily the case. It's like, yes, this person was possessed by a demon, but really did they just have a psychotic break? Like I feel like there's a scientific explanation behind it, and I really like that kind of like point of interest to go down my own rabbit hole.
I do also go down rabbit holes with science and religion, and I feel like they're intertwined more so than we want them to be.
Very much so.
Yeah, I do think that I've done some research on this, on religion and science.
You don't say.
Yes, and I won't get into it.
Okay.
But I've done some research on this, and I have opinions. But with that being said, religious movies really, really freak me out because I do believe that there's evil in the world.
Yeah, of course there is.
So The Exorcist was one that my parents were like, you can't, you're too young. You can't see this one. And they were having friends over.
Oh, no.
And for some reason, this was the movie they chose to watch. Yeah, I don't understand.
So you didn't go to bed?
Well, no, I snuck out and like I watched from behind the couch. And the movie terrified me, so they were correct.
Yeah.
I probably should have waited, would have appreciated it more.
How old were you?
Okay, so I'm trying to think. The house that we were living in, I was no older than 12.
Okay, yeah, I watched it for the first time at 11.
Yeah, so it was around 11, 12. So that night, as I'm going to sleep, I'm laying in my bed and I'm freaking out because my bed is shaking. Like literally, my bed is shaking.
Okay.
And I freak out. And so
I don't like it.
what do I do?
Take it back.
Like first I'm freaking out. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's the demon. They're coming to possess me. And then I remember like, oh, I've been baptized. And in the movie, he can only get you if you haven't been baptized by 12. And here I am. I was baptized as a baby.
Oh, God.
So like I made an announcement to let the demon know.
Okay.
I was like, hey, buddy, I see you here.
Yeah.
But you can't get me because I've been baptized. And you have to go to a new house. And so I guess he understood because the bed stopped shaking.
So I have questions. I vaguely remember in a previous episode you being mad at me that I said hello to the killer when there was noises in the house. But you can exclaim to the demon that 100%. You were baptized.
Oh, 100%.
How's that any different?
Because I had to let him know.
Is the demon going to respond? Say, oh, my bad.
He left the bed.
Okay.
The bed stopped shaking. and it's so funny because Keke and I, we both found out years later that we both do this, but like after we watch like a particularly scary movie, and then we have those 2 a.m. bathroom breaks.
Yeah.
As we're walking down the hallway, we're letting those demons know too. Like, hey, I'm just going to the bathroom. Just want to let you know I'm covered in the blood of Jesus, so you can't really bother me.
Oh,
so I'm just letting you know. Have a nice night. Check the neighbors out.
Okay.
You can't be here.
So we're just talking to ghosts.
Oh, 100%. You have to let them know.
Okay.
You have to let them know that they're not welcome.
Interesting. I have a good ghost story.
Tell it.
Might scare you a little bit. Just a little bit.
Will I be home alone tonight? Let me
Yes, you
think.
will.
No, I'm gonna sleep at Kiki's house.
Just
I think.
punched my microphone. That's fine. Okay, so I think like 16, 17.
I'm scared already.
Yeah. I was 16, 17.
Ooh.
On a bright sunny day.
It was sunny?
It was beautiful.
What?
It was beautiful.
How is this relevant to the story?
It's not. I'm just telling
Setting
the
the
story
scene.
like you
Okay,
do.
got it.
I said what I said. Anyways, we're all going somewhere. It's me, my mom, my two brothers, and we're all getting ready to go out, I think, to like eat or to the grocery store, whatever. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So
Some
we're all
event.
going, and I was going to drive. Oh, I was 18 because I was driving. So I was 18.
Are you sure? Because you can also drive at 16.
Move along. So yeah, we're all going, and like I'm in the living room, and I don't think my brother has gone to the car yet, right? And so I'm like in the living room, like, come on, Tony, like hurry up, let's go. And like I just hear like someone going through everything in the closet, like trying to find something. Like, okay, well he needs his hoodie, whatever, right? And so then I get frustrated, and I go in there, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, let's go. And like the second I look in there, the closet's just open, and no one is in the room, and everybody was already in the car.
What do you think it was?
I don't know. I left.
I'm sensing a pattern here.
I leave.
Oh, you just reminded me of another scary story. Okay, this one didn't happen to me. This one
Happened to a friend of a friend.
No, it happened to my grandmother.
Okay.
So my aunt had just had a baby, and my grandma let them stay in the master bedroom because it was a new baby, and she's like, I want you guys here. And my grandmother never actually slept in the master bedroom of her house. She always slept, there was like a bedroom in the middle between the master and then the third bedroom. And so she always slept in that middle one. And so she told my aunt, like, you know, you and the baby, you sleep in the living room. Yeah. So on a dark and stormy night, I actually don't know what kind of night it was. But at night, my grandmother went to the bathroom, and when she finished, she was going back to her bedroom, and a force stopped her.
Yeah.
Like she could not continue walking. Like there was a physical force
Interesting.
that stopped her from going forward.
Okay.
And she said she thought it was weird, but what was even more so weird is that something was telling her to go the other way. And so when she went towards the master bedroom, she peeked in at my aunt and the baby, and this was a newborn, and the bib had somehow, my aunt left the bib on her when she was sleeping, and it had somehow covered her
face.
and she was like an infant, so she didn't know how to take it off, and she was like breathing and like puffing, and like, so it was like moving, and so she was basically suffocating, and my grandmother saved her. And so she always said that was her husband telling her, like, get the baby.
Yeah.
So that was a good one. But there's also one, and this is why I believe in evil spirits.
Oh, Lord.
Because
It's getting dark.
it's my grandma. It's grandma again. She said that my mom used to sleepwalk. And so it was, so it was shortly after her husband, my mom's dad, passed away. She was laying in her bed, and a figure was standing in the doorway. So she thought it was my mom. Okay. And she's like, okay. Mom. She used to call my mom Shell. So she said, it is cute. So she said, Shell, get in the bed. Yeah. And she said it backed up. Okay. And so she was like, come on, Shell, get in the bed. And it backed up again. And so she was annoyed, and she starts to get up and reach for her. And she said it turned into smoke and disappeared.
That shit didn't happen.
You calling my grandma a liar?
No, I said what I said.
She said this happened.
She said what she said, and I said what I said. That shit didn't happen. Ghost people.
It turned into smoke.
Smoke people.
It turned into smoke.
She reached out and said,
pretty much.
Like what?
Yes. I think, but we always thought that my grandma's house was haunted.
Well, I mean.
It's giving haunted.
It's giving that shit didn't happen.
Hey, why can your ghost story with the bleeding gums be real, but ours
That was
can't?
a night terror. That was a hallucination of my brain.
But what about the creep in your closet?
Maybe I was creep. Who knows? Maybe I didn't hear nothing.
Anyway, that's the story that she told.
I don't like it.
I didn't like it either when I first heard it.
It's fine.
So I 100% get your discomfort.
That's fine.
And the fact that there's no explanation.
That's fine. On the topic of ghosts and goblins and ghouls.
And smoke people.
In the spirit of Halloween.
Yes.
What do you think brings people back to kind of continue to put themselves in that position watching a horror movie where they're like, oh shit, I'm scared?
It's interesting that you asked this because I think about this all the time because people find it a little weird and potentially unsettling the way that I love horror.
Yep.
And so I kind of wanted to look it up and see like, am I weird?
Yeah.
So I wanted to psychoanalyze myself because it's what I do.
Can you do that? Is that possible to psychoanalyze yourself?
Somewhat.
I feel like continue.
I mean,
it's fine.
you can find some answers, but like it helps to have a professional with you.
Okay.
So I was looking this up and like why people like horror and also too in preparation for my future dissertation. And I found that there are a couple of things at play. Like when you get that thrill for some people, and by some people I mean the people that love horror, it's an adrenaline rush.
It's y'all love horror.
It's that adrenaline rush, and then when it happens, and then you're safe as you calm down, it kind of reinforces it. Like, do it again, get it again, get this fight or flight response again.
But
and
do you think that in generating that flight or fight response, I can't ever say that. I feel like
it's rough. I saw you stumble. You did great though.
Thank you. So I feel like in kind of getting that flight or fight response to kind of come about, do you think that the brain kind of at some point kind of understands, okay, like this isn't a real threat, so it doesn't pump that adrenaline the same way as like if someone's really trying to kill you? You know what I mean? Like you get that little 100%. Bit of a thrill.
Yeah, 100%. It's kind of like an addiction, and like the more you do it, it has to get
scarier.
Yeah, that's funny. That reminds me of a documentary I watched on horror, and this guy was talking about this very thing, and he said like, you know, the audience today has seen everything. The only thing that we have to do now is come in there and kill them as they're watching.
That's all that's left.
The movie, because like there's really nowhere else to go.
Yeah.
But I think that's I don't think that's the answer. But I thought that was hilarious, and I also feel like the thing that people love is that it's a controlled fear.
It is, yeah.
You know, like it's not as, you know, some people that are thrill seekers, like they jumping out of planes and doing stuff like that. But with horror, you get that adrenaline rush from your couch.
Yeah.
And so it's
from
like
the safety of your home.
Exactly. So it's nice. It's like, ooh, I like this scary feeling. And then I like when it's over, I can
just do whatever.
Exactly. And so that's that. I hate the word addiction, but that feeling of that adrenaline rush and knowing that that exhilaration and knowing that you can turn it on and off whenever you want to. It's comforting versus life, like you were saying, with things unplanned. Like if something doesn't go to plan.
My greatest fear. She done brought it back up.
If you can't control it, like that's it.
Exactly.
Like it happens, and
now you see.
That's it. So horror allows people to experience that emotion from the safety of their own home and on their own terms. Exactly.
Very nice.
But even then, like I still choose the horror that I watch. Like there's some horror
but I feel like the
that
horror
I don't
that you watch isn't too
scary. Exactly.
Different. Like you don't like to be pushed to the edge where like you're uncomfortable.
No. Well, okay.
Because like one of the things that I watched recently was Cabinet of Curiosities on Netflix. It's a Guillermo del Toro anthology, and one of the episodes was about like this. I think he was like a grave robber or something, but he was trying to get these jewels off a dead body, but the rats were chewing into the coffins and getting the jewels and taking them.
Dang, the
so
rats!
He followed the rats through this.
Why did
tunnel.
the rats need the jewels?
They were just eating them and just taking shit, you know, rodents. But like it was so well done because every bit of that episode, once he crawled into that tunnel, made me uncomfortable because everything just kept getting smaller and smaller and smaller until he was trapped with the rats.
That's so sad. Why'd you spoiler me?
That's okay.
I wanted to
You'll
watch
forget
it.
by the time you watch it.
I'm not.
It was like, it made me really, really uncomfortable.
Did he get out?
No. He didn't.
Tell me now, I'm leaving.
You're leaving. It didn't make it.
No.
But that's one of those
see, I
things.
do like horror like that.
Also, guys, let's go back a little bit. I want you to comment and tell me what your greatest fear is.
Oh, yes, please.
Pretty
I would
please.
love to know what your greatest fears
Because
are.
I need to know if someone else is afraid of not being in control. Just let me know. I know I'm crazy.
Let him know.
It's fine. So yeah, but going back to that, I like being made so scared that I can't watch. And that takes a lot. But when I get there, I'm excited about it. Because
No,
there
I
are
get
some
that.
times where I will literally like cover my face and just listen. And I'm like, okay, and then my technical brain goes on and I'm like, okay, well, the music is swelling. And then once it stops and it's silent, then I can wait for the jump scare. And then I kind of talk myself down. But that exhilaration to that point is everything.
What was the last movie that did that for you? Because I know mine.
Ooh, the last one that did that for me was probably The Void. It's very like body horror, kind of like Hellraiser-esque movie that came out, I think, in like the 2010s.
For me, hands down, the last movie to make me feel like, and that's that adrenaline rush that you're chasing for me, I'm chasing as a horror fan, and it was Sinister. When I tell you, my
Man.
siblings would send me pictures of Mr. Boogie because they knew.
First of all, that name, y'all, Mr. Boogie, but the movie's horrifying.
I love the name Mr. Boogie. I think they were in their bag with Mr. Boogie.
It's fine.
But he looked so scary, and that movie was so well done.
But that's one of those things where, like, technically, that movie is not scary if you mute it. Everything about that movie that's scary is the sound, is the score that's coming into it. Like,
I don't know. Seeing him lawnmower the people was pretty scary.
yeah, but that jump scare that's there
It's because of the sound.
is because of the sound.
You're right.
None of it matters. It's not that weird kind of music going on, the jump scare, like the pop, whatever you want to call that sound.
I'm thinking about it now. That movie was just so well done. Like,
It was.
When I tell you how uncomfortable that movie made me feel, but it was a good uncomfortable. Terrifier is the worst uncomfortable. That's not what I want.
So since it's Halloween, we are going to talk about a couple favorites of ours. We're going to go through our top 5 horror movies of all time. And you know what that means? That means you need to comment your top 5 immediately.
Of all time, yes, please.
Let's compare and contrast.
Let's do it.
All right, what's one of yours? Start with number 5.
Start with number 5.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's the worst. No, I've got to start with number 1.
Yeah. How about just give us 5 in no general order?
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so 5 in no order.
Yep.
Then the one that I always think about is Candyman.
Okay, it's a good one.
Candyman is so horrifying to me. I think Tony Todd is just so menacing, so scary.
Yeah.
Virginia Madison, phenomenal performance as Helen.
Is that her name?
Yeah.
Oh, I just referred to her as Helen.
No,
It's fine.
it's Virginia Madison.
Okay. She was great.
She was such a fantastic Helen. What really made that movie so scary for me is because it takes place in Chicago in the Cabrini Green
That's where
projects.
you're from Chicago.
Yeah, and my dad grew up in the Cabrini Green
Yep.
projects. So it's like it's like, oh, this is a real place. You know, this isn't nowhere town USA. Like, this is an actual real place.
Right.
And then like he comes through the mirror.
Yeah.
So it just freaked me out so much. And then
I like no one like his voice is so deep. Like I can't even like even if I try, it's like yeah. See, like I just sound retarded.
No, he's
but
he is so amazing.
his voice is everything.
He is so amazing. Like he is just. I mean, I'm telling you that to me, that movie was just so well done.
It was
so horrifying. The score.
The score was really
The
really good.
score
But I
was
feel like that's
amazing.
one thing and why I think some of the movies now don't hit as well. I feel like the score it's all. I miss a score that's recorded by a live orchestra
100%.
because that to me adds like so much depth to what they're doing as opposed to
100%.
just like being on a computer and like typing, pushing little buttons
Yes.
and creating it. Like that's still hard, so we're not going to knock it. But you can tell the difference between something that's being played live and recorded and something that's
100%.
being generated synthetically.
100%. And fun fact, when I study, I play the Candyman theme in
What?
the background. Yeah, the dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
It's because Helen was doing her dissertation, wasn't it?
It does make me feel, I'm
That's
Helen.
exactly why.
Well, no, I'm not Helen, but it I don't know. It just gives me study vibes, and yeah. So
No, I do that when I write. Depending on what I'm writing, I will play something that is
Gonna
the
put me in that
same
mood.
genre. So like when I write action adventure, like I'm looking at you, Jurassic Park and Indiana Jones and like all those things, all those classic titles that kind of motivated me in the first place. And then when I'm writing something scary, I turn all the lights off except for my computer. I have the scary music going, and like if I'm scaring myself, then that means I'm scaring y'all. Is the way I look at it. So that's kind of how I approach it too.
no, yeah. So for me, in my top 5, 100%, probably even number 1, but for sure in the top 5 is Candyman.
That's a good one. I really like that choice. I'm proud of you.
Thank y'all.
You're welcome. So my number one, or I guess we're doing in random order.
No, random
so
order, yeah.
My number one, but the number one means nothing, is, oh God, I'm going to say Poltergeist 2.
Is that the one with what I sell is free?
Yeah, that one with Reverend Kane. He was creepy.
He was creepy. You used to send pictures of him
all the
to
time.
my baby sister because she is afraid of him.
I was mean.
Well, you all deserve it for sending me Mr. Boogie. Literally everyone sent me Mr. Boogie at random times at night. I would just wake up to go to the bathroom and Mr. Boogie's on my phone.
I ain't mad at that. My bad, Rennie.
So then, why? Or do you want me to just jump?
No, I can tell you why.
Okay.
Probably just Reverend Kane, honestly. Like from a technical perspective, looking at something like that in the 80s, they did a lot, right? You know, they did a lot with the ghosts coming into and that one more so than the first one showed us the other side. Like the movie's literally called Poltergeist 2: The Other Side because we got to see them cross that threshold into the ghost dimension, and it was really cool. I liked that a lot. I liked that there was more of a villain because in the first one it was just like all the entities trying to come and get Carol Ann, and then in this one it was like, here's who's getting Carol Ann, here's why they're getting Carol Ann, and it doesn't look like Carol Ann's gonna escape. Like that one to me was just so incredibly well done so it just always sits in my top 5.
Okay.
Your turn.
All right. So second choice. I know you're not going to approve of it.
Oh Lord, I'm just gonna look away.
But it's the 1990 miniseries.
Oh God.
To me, that movie, especially part 1, was just so well done. Especially when you think about the fact that it was a TV film. Yes.
Gotcha.
So it's like this is for TV, and they accomplished this.
Yeah.
And were able to get this to air on ABC. This is crazy.
Well, remember they weren't even gonna do it originally. They thought it was too much for TV in general. And then they originally wanted like a much longer time for it. And then they told them, no, if we're going to do it for TV, this is the only time frame that you're going to get. Gotcha.
No, but it was just so like, as a kid, hope, and this is, again, a proof of Stephen King being a genius, like we all know. But it just touched on every single thing as a kid that I would be afraid of happening to me. It is happening in this movie. Like, I don't know. I just always felt like the drain was just weird. Like, what's down there? Nothing. And so there's that scene when the blood comes out of the drain
like
at
in the
Beverly.
shower.
No, Beverly's and she's in her bathroom.
Yep.
Yeah, it comes out and it's just like, this is horrifying. And then
no one can see it but her.
Only her. And then the scene in the shower that you're talking about with Eddie.
Eddie.
Yeah, he is in the shower and it just comes out. He's like, hey.
Just opens
and
it right
it's
up.
just like, how terrifying. Like, you're in this ginormous bathroom when this happened. And then when Richie, beep, Richie, when he goes downstairs and it is visiting him in the form of a werewolf. And it's just like every single creepy thing as a kid that you can imagine happening to you happens to these poor kids all in one movie.
But wasn't that the point of him, though? He was their deepest fear?
Yes, but I'm just saying to get it so right.
Yeah.
I think it's just amazing.
It's also one of those things that's relevant to the time again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like...
I don't know. I feel like kids today would be scared if they were in the bathroom washing their face at night and some blood splashed through the sink.
I feel like no one's scared of werewolves anymore.
Maybe not werewolves.
You know what I mean?
What would it be, though, if it's not a werewolf now? What are kids scared of?
I don't know, but I feel like our kids
their
would be
phones
like,
dying.
Let me pet it. Right. Not having a power bank to charge their shit.
I'm dead.
Exactly.
There's no chargers.
That's their biggest
This is the
fear.
worst.
The Wi-Fi went out.
No Wi-Fi.
It's all good.
I love you kids today.
Cool. That's a good number 2.
Yeah, that's my number 2.
I really like that one. My next one's going to have to be Alien. And I know it crosses like that boundary of like sci-fi horror.
I accept it as horror.
It's that one because it's literally just Sigourney Weaver, her crew, isolated on this planet. It's very claustrophobic.
Very
it's very dark. We don't know, like literally no one is set up as the main character of that movie. They all get pretty equal screen time until they start dying. And like once it kind of switches and Ripley takes over, like it's still scary because at that point she's never experienced this. She's a truck driver of space. Right. And like, there's just this creature that no matter what you do, you don't understand it. You can't escape it. And it is literally killing everything around you.
with no remorse.
None. And like looking at it,
No
like
care.
looking at like just the miniatures that they made like in that movie, like blow my mind. Like the ships look great, the planet looks great, the matte paintings that they used to use to do the background instead of CG, like everything was so well done that when I watch that movie now, for a movie that came out in the 70s, I'm just like, this is really, really well done, and this is why practical effects are so important.
I was literally going to say that. I was like, if he doesn't mention it, I have to talk about the fact that practical effects are superior.
Always.
Yeah.
Every day.
100%.
And I hate anyone who wants to make films, don't say we'll fix it in post. Don't do that. If you can do it on set, do it on set. Thank you.
Okay, so number 3.
Uh-huh.
My number 3 is actually The Thing.
That's a really, really good one.
I think it's so creepy because it's like, it could
You
be
don't-
anybody.
Yeah, you don't know who it is.
It could be anybody. Could be me. How would I know if it was me?
And it's very alien because they're stranded in the middle of nowhere.
Yes.
They have nowhere to go, and there's this thing that they can't stop. They don't know what it is.
And then again, the practicals there were
Outstanding.
amazing.
Like obviously, like
Amazing.
because of like watching it in 4K, like you can obviously tell that it's latex.
I don't
but
watch it in 4K.
That's no.
I watch it on my laptop.
But even with that, like it holds up. You know what I mean? Because like watching Hellraiser, like when the chains are going into his body in the first one, like that shit is fake.
Hellraiser is one I can't watch.
Yeah, she won't watch it. It's too much for her. But it still makes me squeamish though. Like I know that it's
I've seen that first one and I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Jesus wept.
yeah, it's gross, but it's horrifying because it looks real.
It does look so real.
I hate when like movies do CG blood. Like that kills me. Like first of all, the nerve of you to make a horror film and then use CG blood.
It makes me think of all the online clips of the Tubi movies, and it's like, I can't believe Tubi had the audacity.
Man, Tubi is wilding out there.
I love Tubi. I legit love Tubi.
Tubi, y'all have a movie called Amityville Karen.
And
Wow.
I've actually seen, I watched one with Lawrence, Amityville in the Hood.
Yeah, there's things going on.
It was a
with
good
Tubi.
time.
We have to talk.
Tubi, I've got a movie for you guys.
We have a movie for you. Is it my number 3 now?
Yeah, I just did the thing.
Okay. I'm gonna.
Where did you look?
I'm looking for references. Shit.
Is it my turn?
Right. I'm trying to figure it out. I think I'm gonna go.
Come on, these are your top 5 of all time. You should have them.
New Nightmare. Wes Craven's New Nightmare.
Hey Dylan, you ever played Skin the Cat?
Yeah, love it. That's like the greatest line of all time. I can't deal with it. Like that Freddy to me was the only Freddy that was scary because it was very scary.
I'll give you the costume. The makeup and all that stuff, the prosthetics.
He was
I
just
give you
darker.
it was so scary.
The
I will
black
give you that.
trench coat, the leather pants, the adjusted sweater, his glove being coming out of his hand instead of being a glove. Like everything about him was just meaner and bigger and badder, and it worked so well.
I agree with you. I think he did look the best in Wes Craven's New Nightmare, but I also thought he looked really good in Freddy's Revenge because he was wet, which I thought was interesting.
He's like a burn victim.
Yeah. It was extremely accurate to, I have no experience with this, but it's what I would imagine.
What's it called?
What?
When you do that?
When I
And you
imagine?
can't. When you imagine and you can't.
Oh, where reason and imagination
Yes.
aren't at play. The Sublime.
There you go.
It was Sublime.
It's the sublime. But yeah, it was just so perfect. And the fact that it takes place in the real world and like this evil that they created in the movie garnered enough strength to bring itself over.
Definitely well done.
Yeah, amazing. Good job, Wes.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
Yeah. Oh, Wes is I'm telling you, I have few heroes in life.
Wes is one of them.
Wes Craven, Stephen King, Christopher Pike.
That's a good trio.
They're all men. Gotta get some women.
I'm out.
Some women in there.
All right, number 4.
Okay, for me, number 4, The Strangers. That movie made me so uncomfortable because they said it was based on a true story, and it
It's
was
like a vague true story,
It was a
though,
vague
isn't
true
it?
story. I didn't know that initially. When I saw the based on a true story, and then I watched it, it really creeped me out. It made me so uncomfortable, especially when she's like, "Why are you doing this? You were home."
Right.
It just, when I tell you that gave me chills, it gave me chills because it's like, this is some stuff that could really happen. Somebody playing with you because
Just
they're
'cause you're
crazy and you answered the door and now boom, look
You're
what
dead.
you have to deal with.
You woke up dead.
Yeah, you and you could be in a bed but not be dead.
Exactly.
So it was just crazy.
Yeah.
That then I went home and I looked it up, and I saw that the true story, for anyone who doesn't know this, I thought this was interesting, and hopefully I'm getting it right. But from memory, the true aspect of it was that when the writer or the writer, when he was a kid, someone in the neighborhood was going around knocking on doors to see if people were home.
To rob them.
Okay. So anyone who wasn't home, they would rob them,
yeah.
obviously. Yeah, so that was the truth. So he, I guess,
was inspired
took a spin on that, like what would happen if they weren't looking for people who weren't home, but people who were home.
Yeah.
And turned it into this.
Well, that's how good ideas come to be.
Oh, 100%.
Because that's I mean, it's taking something that's real that happened and just putting a twist on it.
Absolutely. And then telling me it was a true story, and then me being horrified by the film. Like, oh, that one was creepy, because like I used to go, I grew up in Pasadena, and we used to go to the Paseo to watch movies.
Good place.
Love everything about Pasadena. And we would come home. Yeah. We would always go to the late showings. I don't know why we couldn't just go to the movies at like 2 p.m. like a normal person.
No one's there.
Yeah, exactly. But they always wanted to go to like the 8 or 9
when it's full.
Yeah, and so we would come home, and it would be so late, and our driveway was really long.
Yeah.
So
how long was it?
It was really long, and we would have to walk after seeing this horror movie up that long ass driveway.
Yeah.
To the house. And I remember Keke and I, sometimes if the movie was scary enough, like we would sprint.
Oh, yeah.
Like we were not walking.
I did that as a kid.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
I was sprinting.
You were sprinting, and I remember as a kid, like the way that you were talking about that you guys go, you would be scared and talk to the demons when you were going to your 2 a.m.
Let them know
bathroom.
this isn't the house for you.
That's what I would do when I would go to the bathroom and I was scared, is I would just sprint from point A to point B, flip that light on, go to the bathroom, and then like have one arm out the door and like flip the light. So as soon as I hit the light, I could run, and I was already halfway there. And so I understand kids do that.
Oh, 100%. This reminds me of a meme that I saw, and it was like, the ghost behind me as I turn off the lights in the basement, and it's like this guy, and he turns the light off, and then he runs upstairs, and as he's running upstairs, it's like some ghost or something chasing him. But like once he makes it upstairs safely and closes the door, like it has to disappear because it didn't get him.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because I feel like a lot of kids think that like, and even sometimes now as an adult, I just get that feeling that something is back there. And I'm like, let me move my ass up these stairs.
That's that sixth sense.
Yeah.
That you were talking about.
No.
The consciousness of your space.
No.
You know something's there.
No. Air is there.
No, you can feel it.
No, would you stop it?
You know when something's there.
I hate you.
Why?
I live alone. Stop this.
Well, no, you don't live alone. The ghost is there.
Frank.
That's what I said. Just let him know you baptized and you're going to be all right.
I'm going to send him to you.
That's fine. I'm baptized too. You know who ain't baptized? Oh, no, our kids are baptized. Don't say you do that to them.
Why would you put the ghost on our kids?
You did, sending it to my house, but they're baptized. It's fine. They're safe too. We're all safe.
I hate you.
What number are we on? Look what you did. You did 4.
I did my 4.
Okay, so my number 4. Let me look again. Let me get a reference here.
Y'all, he's so fake. These movies obviously aren't in his top because he can't think about them.
There's just so many that are so good that I really, really enjoy. But I'm going to go ahead and say the original Insidious.
Ooh.
Because like the first viewing of that movie, and it's one of those like really it's only going to be good that first time, right? Because the tension, and that's another movie where that soundtrack played into everything, because that the swelling of the stringed instruments that come into like this really unpleasant sound that just puts you on edge sets the tone from the movie right from the beginning. And then there's what James Wan did that was really amazing in that movie is like when Rose Byrne is walking through the house doing laundry and the little boy is standing in the corner and just looks like it's a hat and coat hanging, but it's him. And it's like those kind of details that once you catch it, you're like, holy shit. Like she's not noticing, something's going to go down. And like just the jump scares were fantastic. The story was fantastic. Everything was so well done. And I just loved it.
Yeah.
It's great.
That was a good one.
I would say the franchise is great, but really it's
the
just
whole
1,
franchise
2, and 5.
The whole franchise is great.
We can ignore 3 and 4.
That's whatever. It's your world, squirrel. Okay, so my final movie, and disclaimer, there are so many horror movies that I love, but I'm sticking to the ones that actually frightened me to the point where I thought about them for days and it was uncomfortable. Okay. And I'm going to have to say The Exorcist, the beginning.
The beginning. That's my last one too. That shit is scary.
It's horrifying.
It's so scary. And like the original was scary, obviously, like when I watched it as an 11-year-old. Because like when I watched that movie, I paused it on like one of the flash frames that they have of the demon, which I didn't know were there. But I happened to just pause it right at that second and I wasn't looking. So when I looked back, it's just the demon on the TV. I said, absolutely not. Turned it off. But like this one was, I think, a little bit more grounded. It seemed like it was a definite possibility, like you were saying, like from a religious perspective, where they were because they were going through ruins and everything. Like the way the hyenas ate that boy, they said, "Nyah, nyah, nyah, nyah."
Stop.
Like they ate him.
We didn't need the sound effects.
We did. That's what they did. It's fun.
So anyway, if you were in Candyman, you were Helen.
Yep.
Would you have survived?
Nope. You know what? Yeah, I would have survived because the second I was attacked in the bathroom by the man saying, "This is Candyman, bitch," like I'm out. I gotta go. My dissertation is done. I've changed my major. Best of luck.
Okay, so I also think as a Helen, I would survive for similar reasons. I, being from Chicago, was familiar with Cabrini Green.
Yeah.
And there's no way I'm going in there to do no investigation.
Ain't going nowhere.
I'm not going in there. But what I will do is I'll get close enough and I see some people coming out.
She went in there all wrong as a white woman dressed like a cop. Talking
She was
about,
giving
I'm just
cop.
doing a paper.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to trust
First of all, no one there cares about your paper.
Exactly.
So number one, mistake.
Mistakes were made. This is why Helen died.
No. Number two, this is not let me go to the projects.
Yeah.
And as someone who's completely unfamiliar with the projects, let me go and get the information. This is more so maybe I'll put a flyer out and offer like $50 to come. You come to the school, the University of Chicago, and we talk there.
Yep.
Or we could meet at a McDonald's one block over.
Yep.
It's something like that. Like this is a bring them
there.
to you.
Yeah.
You don't go in there. With that being said, Helen got great photos
She did.
going in there. So
But she also gave her life for those photos.
yeah. So now no one sees them.
All chewed up.
So yeah. Horrible ending for Helen, but I do think I would survive for similar reasons. I'm not doing all the things she did.
So if we're picking mine, do you think you would survive a new nightmare?
No.
That's fair. It's very fair.
I don't know how to survive
I mean, low key.
in a nightmare movie.
If he would have taken my child, I would have been like, well,
Well, no, I wouldn't have
not
done
going
that.
down there.
I would
I'm
I would have
not
gone in
going
there. I
down
would have
there.
went to get
for his big
Dylan.
old tongue to wrap around me. No.
But you're being ambitious, imagining that you've made it to the end. I'm thinking I'm one of the people who dies before they get to
the
that
special
point.
effects guys, because they're the only ones that die.
Yeah, I'm saying
Or the husband.
yeah, I'm saying I'm one of those people, like new character inserted, who's dying before they even get to that point. Because like I'm not.
No, I'm the Heather Langenkamp always.
I'm not the Heather Langenkamp. I know that I'm not.
I'll make it.
Because I don't know how do you defeat this. All right, guys, we got a little Halloween, little special surprise for you. My good friend Frank, tell them what you're gonna do for them today.
Right. So, in honor of spooky season Halloween, today is the last day that we get to be publicly scary. So we are going to do We're going to do something for you guys today and do something that's scary for us. I am going to do the Ghost Pepper Challenge, the chip, love it, and I'm going to try to answer horror trivia while we do it. To say I'm nervous is an understatement.
Are you nervous?
Yeah.
You don't have to do it.
Oh, I'm going to do it. We've committed to it.
I'm just saying you don't have to.
It's fine. Let's take a look.
If you don't want to do it, no one will judge
We're
you.
going to do it. That's okay.
I'm so scared for
Oh my
you.
God. All right. It says face the Reaper. Any last words? That's where we're at. Oof. Okay.
What are your last words?
Send help.
Frank, this chip is huge.
It's giant. I don't understand why it's so big. Here, let me
This
do
is
You got your
crazy.
questions ready?
I do.
Okay, guys.
Are you sure you're ready?
No.
You don't have to do this. No. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay, let me know when you want me to start asking. Mm-hmm. Oh my God. In Jeepers Creepers, the creeper rises every how many years to feed?
23.
What is the name of the Nev Campbell character in Scream?
Sidney Prescott.
What is the name of the summer camp where Friday the 13th takes place?
Camp Crystal Lake.
What kind of allergy does Charlie have in Hereditary?
Peanut allergy.
What is the name of the possessed young girl in The Exorcist?
Reagan.
In which state does the Blair Witch Project take place?
Connecticut.
Wrong. Eat another chip. I'm kidding. Who plays Pennywise in 2017's It?
Something Skarsgård? I'm dying.
In the Ring, how long do people have to live after watching the videotape?
Longer than I have to live. 7 days.
Who plays Chucky's love interest, Tiffany?
Jennifer Tilly. My wife.
Your wife.
It's getting worse.
Who directed acclaimed horror movies Get Out and Us?
Jordan Peele.
What year was the first Saw movie released?
2001. 2003. It's over. I'm done.
No, which horror movie stars Jennifer Love Hewitt, Freddie Prinze Jr., Sarah Michelle Gellar, and Ryan Phillippe?
I know what you did last summer.
In which city does Rosemary's Baby?
Round it out. We're done.
In which city does Rosemary's Baby take place? Oh my God, Frank, are you okay?
No, round it out. That's it, guys.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this has been our Halloween special. I'm going to go take Frank to the hospital. And then after that, I'm going to take the kids trick-or-treating because it's Halloween. And thank you so much to Keytv. Like, subscribe, and listen wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you so much, Keytv, and we will see you guys soon. Bye. Are you okay? What do we do? What do I do?
There's nothing you can't do.
Oh my God. Do you want to throw up?